My mic went out. Thank you all for being here this evening. We're just waiting for one more council member who's en route. She got stopped by every red light. I'm sure we all know, have experienced that. And so we'll be starting shortly.
Okay, there we go.
Good evening and welcome to the April 17th meeting of the East Point City Council. Madam City Clerk, roll call, please.
Okay, Councilmember Robertson, Councilmember Shropshire, and Councilmember Renee will not be in attendance. Councilmember Bailey, Councilmember Cummings, Councilmember Cook, Councilmember Butler, Councilmember Gordon. Mayor Holiday and Green, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Our Sergeant at Arms this evening, no? Yes, there he is. What's your name again? Captain Portis, thank you so much for your service this evening. We will have the invocation. Thank you so much, Reverend Robbie Jackson from Jefferson Avenue Baptist Church, followed by the pledge to the flag. If we can all stand.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can we pray? Almighty God, we thank you for this day. You have given us this day as a gift to use and hopefully honor you in what we do and say. Father, I lift up this city council here that has been elected by the citizens of East Point to serve them. And I pray that they would seek your mind for wisdom and clarity in their decisions and deliberations. We ask that you will continue to lead, guide, and direct this city and this city council as they do what you have asked them to do. And we ask all this in Christ's name. Amen.
did that out of order. That's why. Before we get into our presentations, I'll start off with an announcement. April 24th through 28th is After School Professionals Appreciation Week. And we know how very much supportive and essential after school professionals are. That became very clear during the pandemic when our first responders needed to work and we needed to ensure that they were able to work and their children be in a safe place. And so next week, April 24th again through 28th is After School Professionals Week. And I'll read just a brief proclamation that we'll issue to honor that week. Whereas the citizens of East Point firmly believe that after school professionals, those who work with children and youth in a wide variety of program settings to provide extended learning opportunities during out of school hours, have a positive effect on our children, families, community, and businesses. Whereas after school professionals are a decisive element in young people's access to high quality relationships and expanded opportunities beyond what they have access to at school and home, which they need to reach their full potential. And whereas after school professionals deserve appreciation and support for all that they do that results in increased social emotional skills, school attendance, and academic performance for young people. And whereas the city of East Point is committed to supporting the professionals who provide expanded learning opportunities that will help close the achievement gap and prepare young people to be contributing citizens. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Dina Holiday Ingram, do hereby proclaim April 24th through 28th, 2023 as After School Professionals Appreciation Week in East Point, Georgia, and urge the citizens of East Point to join me in this special observance with events and displays of appreciation. Thank you so much again to all of the after school professionals and all of they do to support our children and families and extend learning and out of school time. Then I'll segue into our school, our Tri-Cities High School. We have our principal, Dr. Ethelette, along with two staff members who will come up this evening to provide an update on an amazing space that we cut the ribbon to a couple months ago. It feels like you guys can start coming on up. Um, the UNIDO Center. UNIDO stands for Unity, and it is an amazing center that is housed on the campus of Tri-Cities High School, but it's not just for Tri-Cities High School students. It's actually for the community. And so at a meeting, I think they were at Jefferson Park, right up here. Yep, thank you so much. Jefferson Park neighborhood association meeting in, I think it was February, sharing information, and the community there was very interested and excited about this center, and I thought it would be something important to come for them to present tonight and to share with our entire community the way that we can use this invaluable resource that came about through the leadership of our principal, Dr. Ethelette, and her amazing staff members who she has with us tonight. So I'll turn it over to Dr. Lett. Just press that button right there on that mic. Yep.
Awesome. Good evening, everybody. So thank you guys for inviting us to talk about our UNIDO Center. We are extremely excited about this center. I want to first introduce Ms. Chandra Evans, who is my administrator for the UNIDO Center, and Sarah Blake Smith, who is our social worker. And so to give you a little bit of background about what the center is, it is an opportunity to close the gap for our families to look at how we can support those students and families who experience food insecurity, who experience issues with shelter and housing, and who may have clothing needs. So one of the things that we all know is that our students can't begin to function or to think about schoolwork until their basic needs are met. And so to assist with that, we created the UNIDO Center to provide an opportunity for families to come in and to get the resources they need. So we offer mental health support. We have an on-site grocery store. We have an on-site, we used to call it a bodega, but now it's called the Outfitters. We changed the name to Outfitters to be more unisex, where they can get clothing, and we get donations from the communities, from partners, United Way, and all folks who are interested in helping children succeed in school. So we are really excited. We opened it, we cut the ribbon on it in December. And families have been coming in and shopping. And the beauty of it is, it's not just for Tri-City students and families. It is a community effort. So anybody from the community can come in and utilize the center as well. So I'll let Ms. Evans tell you a little bit more about it.
Good evening, everyone. I'm gonna bring this down a little bit. I'm a little small. um, the UNIDO Center has really, and I'm gonna have Sarah join me because this is a joint effort for both of us. We are partners in this, and the UNIDO Center has been just a joy. I am from East Point, grew up in East Point. My mother still lives in East Point, 5 minutes away from the school. I graduated from Tri-Cities High School. It has always been my goal to sort of come back and give to the students that walk the halls that I once walked. So this has been an amazing experience for me. We see more students come through the UNIDO Center each and every day. We have more families coming now that they know that this resource is available for them. Everything in the UNIDO Center is free. They don't have to pay for anything. Our goal is to let the students know that all we need you to do is get in the building. If you're hungry, we'll make sure you're fed. If you need clothes, we have everything from underwear to personal items to clothing, outfits, prom attire. We're getting ready to do a prom event, graduation thing. So it has been a blessing to our school, to our students, and to our community. You want to talk about the other mental health as well?
Yes, and so the mental health portion obviously is huge, not only for our students, but also for our families and for our faculty and staff. So we're really working hard with on-site mental health partners and other people in the community to come in and do mentoring programs with the students, to come in and play chess with the students, to come in and the Omega fraternity come in and do all kind of different programs with the kids. So we've been able to bring a lot more partners in because, as you know, with schools, a lot of these times we try to do these things, but we don't have dedicated staff who have the time and ability to organize it all. So that's what Chandra and I have been able to do this year, and it's really been wonderful. And I just want to say, too, as far as the community and as far as not only families and, I would invite all of the council members to come through. We don't want the stigma to be that, only those that are needy need to come in and get things. It's all of us. So I hope that all of you guys will come pay us a visit.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
We do have one thing to encourage you all to come in. This is the one that has
Does anyone have any questions?
You gonna take over my meeting.
I know that. I just had a question. I just had one little question.
So we can't take questions from the audience
okay.
right now, but we can take comments from our staff member. It's not staff member, council members. You got me twisted.
Sorry.
But we also have a public comment section that'll come a little later in the agenda, and I'm sure at that time the residents that are here, people who are here, might share something because we have about 5 comments tonight, as well as be able to get your cards and information before you leave this evening. So, Council Member Bailey was there with me at the ribbon cutting, the Ward B Council Member, and then Council Member Butler. You said the Megas. He kind of looked up. He's in Omega Psi Phi, member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. But I'm just so excited about this being in our community. So if you could talk about how the community outside of Tri-Cities can access the UNIDO Center, and like what's the phone number, who should they contact, what's that process?
So with that process, we do have, you all would contact me to come into the UNIDO Center, and my phone number is 470-254-3132. That is to the office. Or you can email me at evanss1@fultonschools.org. And even if you want to volunteer, you can contact me. We have a lot of volunteer opportunities to help us with from the grocery store to the clothing closet to even just organizing and meeting with students to help us within the UNIDO Center. So contact me. Between Sarah and myself, we will get you in place to what you need to do, whether it's volunteer or utilize the services.
Case people here might not remember your name from earlier, or somebody might have just started watching online. If you could say your name again, your phone number, and your email address.
Yes, I am Chandra Evans. I am the partnership coordinator, and I am the coordinator over the Safe Center. My phone number, 470-254-3132. My email address is Evans, Evans, another S, and the number 1, at fultonschools.org.
Thank you so much. Does any council member, anyone like to say anything? Council member, I'll turn to Council Member Bailey since it's in her ward, and I'll go to Council Member Cummings.
Thank you so much for that great presentation. I did have opportunity to visit your school and the UNIO Center. I think it's amazing. I talked to some young people there, so it's very exciting that you're also opening up to the community as well. So I hope to come back by and see you all and see how I can help assist.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council Member Cummings.
It's going to be rough. Me speaking. Thank you so much for your presentation. But I was wondering, do you have a list of the items? Is there a list of the items that you can donate? Okay. Thank you.
To donate.
Well, you can contact me, and we have a needs list
Okay.
of top needs for our school, and it's broken down into different areas. So I can email you that list so that you will have everything that we need to support our students in the school.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to give you one.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And I think it would be great if I feel like we already did a post maybe earlier on when the ribbon cutting happened, but maybe another communication out through the city with that needs list. That was a good question, Councilmember Cummings, as well as who to contact if they want to volunteer. I think that'll help us get the word out.
And we do have some additional information here, so if they want to know more about it, we can leave it here for them.
Okay, perfect.
And we have one last thing.
Go
If you'll
ahead,
indulge
Dr.
us.
Lett.
We have a plaque that we would like to present. Would you like to come down, or can you not come down?
Why don't you, do we have anybody from um, public information here tonight, Mr. King? If not, like, we'll all come down. You can read it, and then we'll all come down and take a photo.
All right, so it's for the city of East Point. This award is to the partners in education or community of partners that have established relationships within the school and community to advocate for Tri-Cities High School while year after year contributing their time, efforts, and/or resources to support the vision and mission of Tri-Cities High School for students, staff, and community success.
Thank you. Accept. So the bags are actually for the community because they thought there would be a question and answer. And so there's two, whomever would like to speak with the principal and staff about the UNIDO Center, they have something for you. So they said they would give it to me. I was like, no, I'll let you all. I don't want to have to make those decisions. So thank you so much though for all that you're doing for our community. Next up, we have East Point Convention and Visitors Bureau update. Mr. King.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, council members. Tonight, we have as our guest Chantel Ross Francois, President of the East Point Convention Visitor Bureau, along with two special guests who she'll give an overview and introduction. Chantel?
Okay. Good evening, East Point. It is always a pleasure to come before you to share and speak about exciting things happening in the city, not only for our hospitality community and our hotels, but for the community on a whole. And the last time we met, I gave you a snapshot of just what we've been working on and some of the exciting things to come. And tonight, we want to talk to you and share with you about one of those opportunities. And I have two gentlemen here with me from Blacktop Productions. I have Mr. Mark Bullock, who is the CEO, and I also have Mr. Scott LaRock, who is with Next Level Consultants. So we want to tell you tonight about an opportunity for the city and for our hospitality community as well for a 24-hour of peace tour. It is a 20-city tour that brings and attracts over 10,000 people to the city, but will need the support of all of you and the city's facilities to make happen. This is something that's not going to cost the city per se in initial dollars, but in support in facilities. So again, I mentioned it's a 20-city tour, and in my mission to position the city as where the world meets, this is something that would support that. We have attendees from the UK, Canada, Africa that would be attending this event, and it's something, like I said, it's very exciting. I'll let these gentlemen give you a little bit more details, and we'll pull up a presentation for you in just a moment. Are we ready? And it's just not another festival or another music presentation. It's a festival with a cause. Yes. Okay.
It's the Blacktop Streetball Festival. 24 hours of peace. It's a demonstration using hip hop culture to get you activated. Let the people hear the bass, the vibration, the love, peace, unity, and watch them add on. It's culture. It's not just rapping. It's not what we do. It's how we do it. We're bringing you the same players from the Streetball Mixtape Tour. 24 hours straight, man. It's crazy.
We the people. The people of the culture.
Yeah, from Lawrence.
Fire. Hip hop culture.
Yo, we love rap. We love it. Yeah, we do. Yeah. But it's really about the culture.
Yeah, let them know how.
The culture.
Okay. So again, this is a festival that attracts the notables, and the host will be Queen Latifah, and people like Lauryn Hill will be in attendance, and some other great notables that I would let the CEO, Mr. Mark Bullock, give you a little more background and details on. Mark?
Thank you for allowing us to be able to present this presentation to you. It's an honor to be here. I'm coming from New Jersey, but I have strong roots in Georgia. And we're excited about this tour. I'll give you a little history real quick. It all started with AND1 basketball. When AND1 toured, they toured all over the country, and then they toured all over the world. And it has such an amazing impact on the community and an impact on the youth that they have millions of fans, billions of fans throughout the world. And so now we want to bring it back. But now, when talking with the original AND1 players, who are my partners with this, we realize that when you do events and when you do activities like this and when you tour, it's a good thing because all the youth comes out, you know, they have a good time, but there isn't a seed planted. And so we said this time we want to plant a seed in the community and bring more than just basketball entertainment. But we want the community to really be able to thrive and be able to experience something more than just basketball entertainment. So what we do is we bring basketball entertainment, and then we also partner with the cities in making sure we highlight organizations such as the organization that just came forward. We highlight those organizations, give them an opportunity for the community to be able to know what they're doing. And we bring celebrities, we bring artists, we bring everybody out. It's just an amazing time. And it's a give back that we do to all the cities. We're touring 20 cities. We would love for East Point to be another one of our cities. You can take a look at exactly who we are. Two organizations, Blacktop and 24 Hours Apiece. 24 Hours Apiece was started by the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, Mayor Ross Baraka, in 2011. He wanted to bring peace to one block and was able to do that. And then from there, it just grew to now 12 years later. You know, we have anywhere between 15 and 30,000 people at the event. It's also a great opportunity for businesses in the city to be able to partner with this and partake of this. We don't charge any of the vendors, but we support all the vendors to come out and to be able to have a good time and to be able to display and showcase what they have or sell their food. All of the vendors from our events, they all sell out of food and their clothing, so it's a good opportunity for them to make money. These are our core objectives during the tour. We have companies come in to present job offerings. We also combat against prison reform, health and wellness. So it's an amazing festival. And I will end by saying this. We're not a circus that comes into a town and just unpacks, do what we do, and we leave. And then you don't hear from us all year. That's not who we are. Who we are, we really care about our communities. And if you will partner with us, you can call us throughout the rest of the year, anytime. I know some of the other cities call us and say, hey, listen, we need you to talk to the kids. We need you to do a camp. We need you to do this. We show up and we're there because, at no cost, because we're partners with the city. So there's a lot for you to look at. I don't want to bring you through all of that, but that's what we are. Blacktop 24 Hours Apiece. It's just an amazing. I will say one thing: the competition. We are giving out $100,000 salaries for somebody who wins a competition. We give out over $120,000 worth of competition money at every event. So somebody from East Point could possibly win and travel with us throughout the world and, become a star just like some of the other and one stars became. So it's a lot going here. It's a lot of opportunity, and we would love to partner with you. So thank you. I don't know if you have any questions.
Can you share some of the cities that are already involved?
Sure. Vegas, New York, New Jersey, DC, Charlotte, LA,
Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah, it's all the major cities around the country, and we're here at East Point because we was invited, and so wherever we're invited, we say, okay, we'll take a look at the city. I took a look at the city. I did my research on the city, and I felt like it would be a great opportunity to partner with a city like yours.
I'd also like you, Mark, to talk about what you do when you come in building out everything that you need, again, at no cost to the city.
Sure.
Okay.
So we invest our funds and stuff to the city as well. So we build a basketball court ourselves. We put it in the middle of the street. We built a court. Last year we built a court in front of City Hall. It looked like a movie. It was amazing. And we build the stands, and we just create an environment that's really special and really captures the essence of the city. So we love having the input of the city where they can say, hey, listen, maybe you should do this or maybe you should do that. We like to link up with Parks and Recreation. We like to link up with the school district. Just the different departments of the city so that they can put their flavor on the event. Every city is different, right? This city is different than Atlantic City. Atlantic City is different than Vegas, you know. So, but everyone puts in their input so that we can capture the essence of the city and really allow the city to be portrayed in the right way. So, and the youth love it. So,
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. And Mark's being a lot modest because there's a whole lot more to this and what's happening in the way it will present East Point. There's a lot of publicity and notoriety that comes along with this. iHeartRadio is a major sponsor. Coca-Cola is the major sponsor. And again, this is going out to millions in social media, in TikToks. They'll be coming and doing live TikToks from the city of East Point, and which is why they look for a location that we choose that you want to be represented as. So do you want the stage built in front of City Hall? How do you want the city portrayed to the world? And it is indeed to the world because it is the UK, it's Canada, it's Asia, they're all over in addition to the 20 cities. New York has just signed on and they're going to be doing theirs in Times Square. So just to give you the magnitude of how and what this is. With that being said, they've given me an opportunity that they haven't given to anyone else, that East Point will be able to not only have this happen in our city, but we will be able to be recognized media-wise in every city. So in the 20 cities that they travel to, we are afforded an opportunity to have a booth, any type of recognition or signage that we choose to be able to be recognized. This will be televised. There's going to be a documentary. There's also a reality show that will be filmed around it as well. And for our hotels and hospitality community, the benefit is there's going to be over 100 people on staff, just staff, and they will all be housed in our properties and hotels. That's not to even count the celebrities, the media, and all that other part of it as well. So we're talking a couple of hundred people in the city for sure that will be using our hotels, and then the people that fly in and come into the event. So with over 10 to 30,000 you mentioned, that's quite a bit of people. So that would enhance again our mission to position us as where the world meets, and to fulfill our mission to put heads in beds in our hotels, and the whole community piece of it to support our community on a whole. This will be something that'll be an annual event, and it will grow as they continue to come. So again, as Mark mentioned, they will build out everything that they need. What we need from you is support for all of the facilities and services that surround that. And I know you even bring your own security as well, right?
yes, everything.
Right.
So let me just say this. As I mentioned, every city is different, and you know, we work with the city to see what the city is able to do, and whatever the city is not able to do, we pick up the rest of it, and we just work together. You know, that's what it's about. That's what the community is about. So it will be everywhere. Our last event had over 500 million views. So it gets out there.
So it's truly a partnership. So again, he's mentioned that wherever the city feels that maybe they need some additional support to make this happen, they have the resources to come in and offer that.
Madam Mayor, City Council. Again, thank you for this opportunity to be able to speak today. Also, we wanted to share, there's a lot of cities that come and ask to be a part of this after they witnessed what happened in Newark. And even your counterpart Atlanta. But, you know, with our relationships, we decided, you know, let's come to East Point first. Because, you know, as Mark said, we traveled around East Point, we really like the history of East Point, and we think that we can make a difference. And that's the most important thing. I think the ladies who were up here a few minutes ago, we look at that as far as partnerships with regards to local organizations to create viable options for those citizens of East Point. So there may be some things that they don't know, maybe our community action agencies are here. There are resources that they have that we need to get, or the council needs to get to the people, but we can help facilitate that through what we have to offer, which is the 24 hours of peace, the entertainment side of it, and the programs that we bring as well. So we're just excited to be here. We drove in from North Carolina, but we wouldn't miss this for the world. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And again, I've never seen an organization or festival like this where they come and give and want to continue giving. And just so you know, it is a competition. I've had to fight for our dates. And, Atlanta wanted to have this, but the relationship I had with the group gave us the opportunity to keep this in East Point. So Atlanta's still fighting to have it, but I know we can do it for East Point. And I've already kicked a couple of cities out the door for us to get in. So hopefully we can make it work. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation, and I'll go to council. I just have a clarifying question. This is the East Point Convention and Visitors Bureau bringing this to the city. So what would be the East Point Convention and Visitors Bureau role? And what are you looking for the city to do?
The role for the Convention Bureau is just that we will be a sponsor of the event to be able to be recognized at the 20 cities that they go to and be afforded that. The city's responsibility, I'll let Mark go into a little more detail on that, but basically what he was saying is just to be able to have the facilities.
Right, just the area to be able to place the festival. We will also send you like a list of, items like if we need 50 cones, we need 24 barricades, we need porta potties, and then you let us know whether or not you have those things in your different departments. So you might say, I don't have 10, but I have 8. Okay, great, we'll cover the rest. That's all we're asking for.
Councilmember Cummings?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's gonna be rough again. Have you scouted out potential locations in the city that you could possibly have the event?
Yes.
What are those?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, she was asking if you've looked at some of the areas
Yes,
in which they
yes.
have
We,
with City Hall.
we would like this area in the City Hall area, this area where we are located right now.
So you're saying here where you would actually build out the court and so with regards to the concert, have you looked at that area as well?
The concert, you said.
Just
have
from
we
what I was
looked-
looking at on the video, I guess it had like a concert.
Right,
portion
so
where
there's a
artists-
basketball court there. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. There's a basketball court there that we built. It's 60 by 94, and then we also bring in a huge stage. We put the stage there as well, a little bit separate from it, but close enough, so that we can have performers up there, because we have A-list performers come out and perform, so we need to make sure that it's at a certain quality. But yeah, and then we have room for vendors, tents, organizations to be able to come and promote their services as well.
Okay, do you have a potential date? Is there a tentative date that you have?
September 22nd, I believe.
22nd into 23rd September. And we did check the city's calendar to make sure that we were clear and able to handle that.
Okay, and I was looking on the presentation, and you had your objectives, those different services that you provide. Is there a particular area that'll be set up where you can actually just assist, with providing those? Are there different vendors that you guys bring in? Because I know you talked about the prison reform, the housing, some of those objectives. Is that another portion that'll be set up?
Yes, so we have our staff that specializes in those different areas. We will then contact those apartments in your city to work with them and making sure that they're set up properly to be able to promote their services to the city. So we have our own, and now if the city says, listen, for like social services, we will have ours talk to your social services and say, hey, listen, here's some ideas of things you can do if they want to. If not, we will still set things up just so that we can direct people in the right path. Yeah.
Thank you.
And Ms. Cummings, I was going to share one last thing too. So those local organizations that may be independent from who we have and who you have as department, so we encourage those vendors to set up as a vendor to come out and provide resources. So you may say, we have community action here, or we have United States Marine Corps, or whoever that may want to set up to provide services for your community. And so we encourage them to do that as well.
So for those, okay, I understand about the services. So who would work in conjunction with you all as far as like pairing up to bring in those different organizations? Is that what the Visitors Bureau, is that what you guys would do?
We would coordinate that with the 24-hour piece, yes.
Okay.
Yes, and we would have somebody on staff that would be coordinating with them and the city.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Councilmember Bailey?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. How do you assess your security needs? I know that you're providing that. How would you make that assessment?
Well, we work with the police department. We have a head of security who's a former Marine. We have ex-police officers, ex-FBI agents that are part of our security staff, as we call safety officers, EMS, paramedics. They're all part of our safety staff. And we map out a plan according to, once we do the layout, we send the layout to the city. We map out a plan. We go over the logistics with the police department. We let them know exactly who's on our staff. We're very serious with that because on our side, we have a lot of dignitaries that come into our events. And so things have to be set up a certain way. But we have a system that's done right. So if you you see that video, there was 30,000 people in Newark. We've never had one incident, not one. It's just done in a certain way where it's safe, but it's not overbearing on the community. So, yeah.
All right, I don't see anyone else in for comments, Mr. City Manager or Ms. Francois. What is the ask of council? It sounds like there's an ask, and I know tonight we don't have all the details. There's potentially an opportunity for council to decide that staff can continue to move forward with working with them and bring back an MOU with details that we would be able to discuss at a later date. And now I see Councilmember Butler's light on. Before I go to the city manager, Ms. Francois, I'll turn it over to Councilmember Butler.
Madam Mayor, I was going to back your play with the motion, so I'll wait until after you finish.
So you want me to ramble the motion? Because I was doing a good rambling there. So there's a lot of moving parts, and interim city attorney, I think we would need an MOU, but in order to even begin working on the MOU, staff would need some consensus or action by council indicating that we would like to host the event here, and they can work out the particulars and bring that back.
Yes.
Now, that's a long statement. You got the motion for me? Okay, all right.
And that's the ask. That's what that's what I'm asking for tonight, because as mentioned, it's a competitive bid. And I've had several cities already kick us out on our dates, and I've had to push and lift for us to get back on the program. So if we don't say yay, that we want to at least go ahead, then we're potential to lose our dates.
Councilmember Butler.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make the motion that we give the city staff permission to work with the Conventions Bureau and these gentlemen with black top.
Yes, sir.
In order to further the conversation.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? I think it might be helpful to have clarity around accepting them working for those two dates, the September 22nd and 23rd, so they could lock it in on the schedule. If you want a minute.
If it favors my colleague, I'll make a friendly amendment to that motion, adding the dates of September 22nd and 23rd.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, do we, Mr. King, Ms. Francois, Mark, do we need anything else for right now? And you all will work
That's
that, and
it.
then it'll come back. This is April 17th, maybe the May work session, May 8th is our work session. Do you think you all would be able to have a MOU ready then from council, interim city attorney? so that we can look at, this, I think you feel comfortable with secure the dates. Like for
Right,
us to stay in the conversation on those dates.
right.
But then maybe May 8th for the work session. We don't need this part in the motion, so I'm not trying to confuse you on that, but I will go back to you in case you have any other comments, Councilman Butler. Go ahead.
I'm in on discussion. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Ms. Francois, I want to thank you for your first bite at the apple with the city. You've come in really running, and so we appreciate this opportunity to take a look.
Thank you. And we do have a draft MOU already, so it's something that we can continue to work with the city manager. It's something that I've already prepared. And of course, we'll have the city attorney take a look and make sure that we're on point with that.
Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
hold on, we don't have to vote
Oh,
yet.
I'm sorry.
We got a motion in a second, we're in for discussion. Mr. King, did you have anything on discussion?
No, Madam Mayor, you put all of that in the proper context that I need to move forward. Me and the city attorney will get together in private coordination meeting and move forward.
Madam City Clerk, you have the motion, clear, okay. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries, and so we can move forward. I want to echo Councilman Butler's comments. Thank you so much for Ms. Francois for hitting the ground running and being singular focused on East Point. It is refreshing that you're leveraging your network, your relationship, your influences, and resources to bring A-level events to our city and ensuring that people choose East Point. And thank you all for taking the chance on East Point. We appreciate it, and we'll have this back either May 1st or May 8th. May 1st if it's ready. If not, our work session May 8th.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, number 3, Standing Peachtree Native American Festival and Powwow, Mr. King.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have Christopher Swain, our arts coordinator, who's leading this effort. He'll come forward and give an overview of this item. Chris?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Christopher Swain, Public Arts Coordinator and Curator for the City of East Point. First, I'd like to begin by saying that as spiritual beings having a human experience, it's always important to acknowledge the land upon we stand and occupy. The presentation tonight is more than just an aesthetic show or celebration or for entertainment. It's about healing the land. So whether we're talking about East Point, College Park, Hapeville, or most of the cities that we consider Fulton County, we have to acknowledge the land upon which we stand is the land of the Muskogee Creek Indians. They were the indigenous people of this space, and the land was subsequently stolen from them and divided, and now we call them different cities. So that being said, last year we endeavored to heal the land in East Point by offering our Standing Peachtree Indigenous Festival and Powwow for 2 days last year. It was a great success. And with that, we haven't had a chance to really discuss it in a public forum like this. So tonight, I present to you Ms. Monica Arrington to come forth and speak more about it.
I need glasses. When you reach a certain age, you need glasses. My name is Usa Anuno, means good evening in my language, and I would like to say Mado, which is Muskogee Creek saying thank you, and Wado, which is for Cherokee. What started off as a festival that we had last year, I wanted to make sure that it was kept educational. And I want to especially thank the Council of East Point for helping us to promote, to support this event. The turnout was phenomenal. We even had several stars show up. Kiki Palmer showed up. Rumor had it that even Tyler Perry snuck in for a little bit, as well as several others who work with the series The Walking Dead and so forth. But being a Native American Indian, my goal was to bring awareness to the cities of Georgia. And in doing so, I met one of our state representatives for Fulton County, Kim Schofield, and we got a resolution. And it was presented and it was signed off by the state of representative. And I have a copy for all of you. I'm not going to go into heavy details of reading this because I have it in a folder, but I'm also will be bringing to you a plaque size one that could be hung on the wall for you. But it all started here at East Point. And it has expanded where more and more cities are contacting me. My background is Native Studies. I have a doctorate in humanities, and I am a delegate to United Nations on Indigenous issues. And in doing that, I have learned how much we're really all alike. Diversity is something that we all are. I've worked with the Green Party. I've worked with Republicans and Democrat, with the Tuskegee. I've worked with different colleges, Emory University, where we finally got a program going for Native students at Emory University. You can type my name into Google or Yahoo, and you can read up about me. I have nothing to hide. But in doing so, this coming year is going to be bigger. And I don't mean bigger in the sense of more vendors or something, but bigger that the people are biting at the bullet to show up. So can you change the slide to one? This is last year. And if you look at the pictures, Muskogee Creek, the drum group is called Otter Trail. They have won several Grammys for their music, and luckily one of the main drummer and what we call keeper of the drum is my cousin, because they charge $10,000 just to show up. And he showed up for me for almost nothing. With the diversity of the dancers, the storyteller, the living history, the flint knapper, the flutist, you could see every color under the rainbow and representing their culture. And in doing so, this coming year, we're also bringing in Hawaiians. So this is something, again, they're indigenous. They are part of the United States. You will see Tainos, which is Caribbean, and Puerto Rico, known as Borican, is a Commonwealth of the United States. You will see Tainos also. Muskogee Creeks, Apaches, Comanches, Onondagas, Oneida. I mean, and people from Mexico who will wear their traditional wear. Most of the wear that you see nowadays is more modernized. So it's got glitz and glamour, and just like my earrings and my pendant here, but you'll see traditional and more modernized. The event itself was one that is for the books. And if it wasn't for the city council and for Christopher Swain and the departments that helped support this, this would never have happened. And now it is something that everybody talks about. And I'm getting bombarded constantly. Being the person that I am, because I do talk to schools, I do defend the indigenous rights, because we do have a Declaration of Indigenous Rights. I have gone to schools to protect Native children who are here in Georgia. I have protested in a quiet manner when graves are dug up. Nobody wants to have their ancestors, their relatives' graves dug up. I did a documentary on water and how water and fracking do not go hand in hand. So having said that, this is one of the certificates, and it's a certificate of appreciation because I make sure that these events that I put on are educational, that everyone who is part of my staff knows what they're talking about, know what, down to what they're wearing. Why are they wearing that? Did they earn that eagle feather? How did they earn that eagle feather? But we do have etiquettes and protocols, and we have an MC, he's a world championship hoop dancer, and he explains etiquettes, he explains protocol, and we also have people who explain the different dances. Go ahead and change the next one. We would also, like I said, this is an appreciation for everything that you have all done. From the mayor, Dina, and I'm going to tell you right now, if it wasn't for you, the resolution and the proclamation would never have happened. It became such a buzzword when you said what you said last year. And I got contacted by state representatives, and they signed off on it. Next one. So basically, this coming year, we will have some of our same vendors, but we're going to grow because I am working with a complete living history group that will set up a living history site where they cook in there, they sleep in there, they make their bows, they make their moccasins, they show how everything is done and what clothing they wore during that time. That's one of the things that we're adding. We're also adding a teepee. Now, teepees are not part of Georgia, not part of the Southeast. That's out west because teepees are what you call your mobile homes, your travel trailers, because people out west, the indigenous people from out west were nomadic, so they moved from place to place. Where here in the Southeast, they were farmers. They stayed in place and they built communities, what we call towns. The Muskogee Creeks and the Cherokees called them towns. Standing Peachtree itself is an area that had a mound, and it is at the beginning of where Peachtree Creek goes into the Chattahoochee River. We did an event several months ago, actually 1 month ago, almost to the date, and we had Muskogee Creek speaker, the national speaker, come. We're hoping to be bringing in what we call heads of state, so the chiefs of these nations. We're hoping to bring in as we move along for further events. The main thing about these events is we want people to realize that Indigenous people come in all shapes, size, and colors, and they live here in Atlanta. They've never left. 90% of the people are mixed blood. I'm a mixed blood. When I found out, I never thought myself as biracial. And then I was called biracial because my mother is white, my father is Indian, and I'm considered a biracial child. And I never saw myself that. I knew I was a mixed blood, but to see myself as biracial was something that when I looked in more into my history, and I went, yeah, this is how it works. So I would love for, I've got several items. These are old. They are gifts to the city council and to the mayor and for you to display. And we hope to continue to work with East Point on other endeavors, whether it's water, the sacredness of water, whether it's you have children who go to school here that are indigenous, that come from different tribes. My background is protecting those children. I've worked with Department of Family and Children Services on these issues of placing these children in the proper homes where they still feel connected to their culture. Culture is very important. Education plays a part in this because we don't, woo, 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 we don't do that. That's a John Wayne movie. And truthfully, it's the guys who do that, not the women. What the women do is called a Lulu. These are things that we educate on. I have a red pony, but it's a 2020 Camry, but I call her my little red pony. I live in a regular house. I don't live in a teepee. I eat hot dogs, hamburgers, but I do like buffalo too. I'm not big on fried bread. I'm not a big fried because to me it's too bready. I like the Navajo fried bread because it's more flatter. These are some of the things that we teach. We're going to be doing roasted corn this year. This time we got 2 food vendors. One who's going to do basics of just hamburgers and hot dogs and roasted corn, because not everybody wants buffalo, especially the kids. Not everybody wants to eat a buffalo burger or have an Indian taco. So these are some of the things. But we hope to keep the education the center point of this in all matters. That's all I have to say. And like I said, this drum is very old. It has a striker, have a rattle, and this is all made with hide. Every bit of this is hide. And because we're here in the Southeast, even have a horn that you can drink water out of. So these things belong to the city council, from me to the city council and to the mayor. And the mayor, I would like to present this to you directly. And you will be getting a paper copy. That's the resolution proclamation. Yeah, state representative. And if it wasn't for what you had said, it would have never happened. So you helped me very much because I had been pushing this for many years. And it finally came to fruition with Kim Schofield, Marvin Lim, and several other of the Democratic Party of state representatives. And they strongly believe in this also. So I'm going to say hahom, mado, mado. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hi home. Hopefully that was the right response.
Yes.
And I want to say thank you to, I showed up to support as I do and spoke, but the work was done by you and our public arts director, Mr. Swain. He's brought a lot of cultural events to our city that actually celebrate our diversity. And I pulled up the census number because we actually have 0.1% of our population is Native American Indian and Alaska Native alone reported in the census. So it's just under 40 people, but that wasn't there before. And so our diversity is truly our strength, and the land that was purchased for this city, as you said, was purchased from the Muskogee Creek Indians. So Mr. Swain and his vision and his artistic, he's a walking art, is what I'm trying to say. But he's really captured the essence of what it means to celebrate our diversity. And I met people while I was there from other states. They heard about it, they came, they were saying raving reviews of the experience. And so I know this year is going to be even better. Thank you, Miss Monica, for all that you're doing to ensure that we're being educated. East Point is annual, right? So I know there's a lot of people, there's no point like East Point. We often start things and others are interested. That's great because we can be a connector. But we definitely would like to continue to see, I would definitely like to continue to see, and I believe Council would as well, this being a part of our annual activities to attract people and also celebrate our diversity. Mr. Swain, I see you're in to speak. I didn't see any other council members before I started. Let me see.
I just wanted to add that when Monica and I first talked about even doing this festival here at East Point, she came up, she lives a long way, She lives in North Georgia, and she drove in one morning, and we talked about it inside in one of the conference rooms. But subsequently, we walked outside, just walking the grounds, talking about it, and just imagining what could be here, what could be there, and whether the space was right for it. And while we were discussing it, we just happened to look up, and there were 4 hawks flying around in a circle around City Hall. And we knew then that we were onto something. So that was the start of something. Because like I mentioned earlier, it's spiritual work. People don't get it. It looks like entertainment, but it's really deeper than that. So that was a sign for us that we should be working together, and this is going to be a great event. So I just want to say thank you.
Confirmation is always great.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I believe this is a part of the Public Arts Department, so I don't know if there's any action from council needed tonight. But thank you for continuing again to do this impactful work. Like, we are sharing knowledge and educating so many people around our differences that make us unique, but also make us strong. So thank you, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Hi, home.
Hi home, and we will have those, Mr. Swain, those artifacts, and if we could have them displayed somewhere in City Hall.
I'll take care of that.
I don't think we're not gonna split them up. I think a good place would be here at City Hall.
I got you.
Thank you, Miss Monica, Miss Arrington. All right, next up, Councilmember Gordon Fulton, Atlanta Community Action Authority Utility Assistance. Councilmember Gordon.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This evening, we have a presentation by the Fulton Atlanta Community Action Authority regarding utility assistance that will be available for our residents, including our seniors. Tonight, we have the new president and CEO, Dr. Howard Grant, as well as former council member Eddie Lee Brewster. Thank you so much.
Press the mic, press the button, I mean. There you go. Nope, not yet. Press it again. There.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. First of all, I want to thank Councilmember Gordon and Butler for inviting us here. We are the Fulton Atlanta Community Action Authority, better known as FACR. It was formed about 30 years ago from the old EOA, Economic Opportunity Atlanta. For some of y'all been around a while. So recently, our longtime CEO and president retired. So we have a new person on the block, Dr. Howard Grant, who came in running real hard. So this is his first time outreaching in a public forum, and he's doing it in East Point. We have monies still left for energy assistance, especially for our seniors, and he's going to talk about that, and they're going to tell you his other vision for FACR. Dr. Howard Grant.
Thank you. Like I said, I see so many familiar faces that I've worked with in the past, but it's just an honor and a pleasure to be here. Again, as Eddie mentioned, our former CEO, Dr. Joyce Dorsey, served the Fulton Community Action Authority for 31 years. A little bit about our history is we are a spinoff of the War on Poverty, 1964, Lyndon B. Johnson. And in 1991, FACA was formed to provide wraparound and support services for those individuals that are low income. Presently, we serve individuals that are pretty much 60% of the AMI and below. So for a family of 4, we're looking at $54,000. For a family of 1, we're looking at about $24,000. So that's $24,000 to zero. We serve them. A little bit about me, I've been in Atlanta for 36 years. I'm a Morehouse graduate, Omega, Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I've had the pleasure and really, I guess, the honor. Atlanta has given me the privilege, the metropolitan Atlanta area has given me the privilege to serve. I spent 16 years as the executive director for the Atlanta Board of Education and 7 years as a senior VP with the Atlanta Housing Authority, providing homeless working in the homeless field, and not only from the bricks and sticks, but I was also in charge of human development services. So with FACA, in the past, FACA has provided not only energy assistance, and I'll talk about that in a second, but we've also provided, again, the wraparound and support services that individuals need to become self-sufficient. And, I'm quite shaky on the term self-sufficient because, how many of us actually are really self-sufficient? But FACA provided the resources for low-income residents to have progressive growth. And progressive growth are those resources needed to move from one step to another, to another, to another, as you move along that continuum, whether it's GED programs, whether it's single mother institutes, whether it's job training and job placement. FACA has had a role in serving almost 1 million individuals since 1991. Last year alone, we served 30,000 individuals, many of whom came from the city of East Point. So I'm here today to, one, reintroduce FACA to those of you that know about us, but also to introduce us to those of you that don't. Currently, our programs are threefold, and that's our emphasis now. Energy assistance, whether it was for heating, water, and also now we just started cooling. And all of these programs will be operational until June 30th. We don't want to send the money back to the state. Our goal is to spend that money. So my ask of you all is to help me, get the word out, help facilitate opportunities where I can bring my team and we can sign up individuals to pay for their energy bills, especially our seniors. The big picture is we want to prevent homelessness, and individuals should not have to make the choice to pay an electric bill or a water bill or a gas bill versus medicine or food. We're here to help with that. That's what FACA is here to do. So as we move forward, I really would love to, I have you all on my distribution list. I'll shoot you a follow-up email tomorrow with all of my contact information. For the public, you can reach FACA at, and I have to look at it because I'm new, I didn't memorize the number yet. I'm still working on that, but it's 404-320-1066. And you can look on our website, which is www.facaa.org, and you can actually sign up for energy assistance. We're also have a partnership where we have low-cost internet and tablets for our seniors and low-income individuals, where you would pay $11 for a tablet and you'll have internet access for a number of years. I don't want to say the number, but it is for a number of years. And it's $11, and you get a tablet and you get internet access so that you can get online. So my priorities as a new CEO, one is to, again, do the road trips. I'm a very hands-on individual in terms of being out in the community. My entire career has been in the community. But my goal are threefold. One, I want to tackle the digital divide for our residents. We are in an age now where, as you all know, if you don't know how to use this phone, if you don't know how to use your laptop, if you don't know how to use your computer, you can be left out of services. It'll just really cripple you. So my goal is, one, to provide programs that will increase digital literacy, especially amongst our seniors. Two, financial literacy, increase that knowledge of how the importance of financial knowledge is in our communities. Three, I want to have a program again for single mothers. I was a single father since my children were 5 and 2. And I have the utmost respect for single mothers. But I want them to know that you may be a single mother, but you're not out there by yourself. So I want to bring back some resources for our single mothers. And then finally, I want to have resources for those individuals that are coming out of the prison system. You've paid your dues. You shouldn't have to keep paying your dues. So we want to have programs for them. So those are the 4 things that you will see coming out. And I want to work closely with East Point. As I listen to the presentations that we've had so far, we had one on education. We had one on the basketball, the blacktop, and this is the 50th anniversary of hip hop. So we will be working closely because hip hop came out of community action. It was about the struggle, the economic struggle, the class struggle, and the racial struggle. So FACA wants to be a part of that. And I pray that East Point moves forward with that endeavor because FACA would love to be a part of it. And then we spoke about our indigenous individuals, just respecting the history and the culture and the appreciation for what got us here. So FACA is community action. There are over 1,100 community action agencies in the country. In the state of Georgia, there are 28 of them, and FACA serves Fulton County and the city of Atlanta. But I truly, with former council member Brewster's assistance and yours, I truly want to have a presence here in East Point, even to the point where we develop programs that are specifically geared towards East Point residents, so you don't get caught in the fray of everyone else. So with that, thank you for just the opportunity to come and introduce myself. This will not be the last time that I'm in front of you. Thank you, Councilmember Gordon, for the invitation and facilitating this. And I'll accept any questions. But again, water assistance, energy assistance, and we just started the cooling for the seniors. And we'll start with the cooling for the general population beginning May 1st. But our goal is, one, to make sure that individuals don't have to make that choice. And two, we don't want to send any money back to the state. We want to spend it. So if you have opportunities where you would like for our team to come out and take applications, please reach out directly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us this evening. I see Councilmember Butler, and you mentioned Councilmember Gordon and Butler, so I could start with Councilmember Butler and then go to Councilmember Gordon.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Dr. Grant, I'm always following behind you, brother. It's good to see you.
Likewise.
First, I want to commend FACA. It has always been an instrumental part of delivering services to East Point. Part of my wheelhouse is delivering services to seniors, and you guys have always done a great job. Mr. Eddie Lee Brewster has always done a great job facilitating that for us and making it an easy transition, so we really appreciate that too. I'll close with this. One of my wheelhouses is the digital divide. It's something that I have been working on before the pandemic. As we all know, it exacerbated that divide. So I would love to work with you on some type of program that way. We did our Shaka Clause in December. We also provided tablets, and we also had another councilwoman who provided tablets to seniors. So I will work with your office and Mr. Brewster, and maybe we can hone in on that specifically. But thank you, guys. I have a lot of seniors that are happy with me because of you. So I appreciate that.
Thank you for that. And I look forward to working with you on that.
Councilmember Gordon and Councilmember Bailey.
Thank you so much. Hello, Dr. Howard.
How
Dr.
are you?
Howard Grant. I'm sorry. Good to see you. It's been a while. I've known you, in the same circles for quite some time. I want to say congratulations to you in this new role. And just to thank you and former council member Brewster for all that you do in getting the word out in our community. As Councilmember Butler stated, I know we worked together quite a bit during COVID. Of course, we had some concessions during COVID where, utility bills were not required to be paid. However, when that lifted, a number of people citywide had issues paying their utility bills. And Mr. Brewster would not hesitate to call and let us know who was having issues, and we would have to make the connection with our city staff to make sure that all of that paperwork and all of the exchange was handled properly. So I want to thank you for being so diligent. And he does not hesitate to let it be known what your services entail and how all of your services can work for the good of our citizens here in East Point. And so we do look forward to partnering in an even deeper way, as you stated, with all the services that you have to offer, hopefully. And you did have it asked, so would you like to make the motion? Okay. And I guess that our motion would be, and so speaking with the city manager briefly about this, I'd like to make a motion to direct the city manager to work in conjunction with FACA and their team to perhaps facilitate a location in the city to allow this organization to set up registrations and signups for those residents who may be in need. Long motion.
It's been moved and seconded. I didn't hear the ask come from during the presentation, so,
Yeah, I mean,
it's, my understanding is you have a location?
well, we have a headquarters, but it's a general ask of the council for us to, maybe a motion wasn't,
No,
but
you don't have to worry about that part
yeah,
of it.
yeah,
I just
yeah,
didn't hear
yeah,
an
yeah,
ask from you.
yeah. We
You
just
shared your
want to
goals.
work with you all very closely in making sure that we can facilitate the acceptance of applications for energy assistance for your residents.
And so, Mr. King, I know Ms. Johnson's not here tonight. I'm sorry, Councilmember Bailey is in. I'll go to her. We're in discussion, and then I'll ask my question.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And that was my question, just what the ask was, because of course we need all these services for our residents of East Point. And in going to Gateway and all our different homes that serve our seniors there, some of them know about the program, and the ones that didn't, we've educated some of them on it. And I think that this program and your goals are amazing, and our residents would benefit greatly from it. So that was my question. What is the ask?
So, Mr. King, do you know if our social services program coordinator, Yolanda Johnson, is aware of FACA? Dr. Grant is telling me he spoke with her.
Yes, I spoke with her, yes.
Because she's connected over 400 people to resources and helped over 40 people who needed housing become housed. And so that type of assistance with utilities, definitely want to make sure our residents are aware of them. I know Georgia Power also has assistance with utilities through, I think it's June as well. And we had some CARES Act funding. And so I think a level of coordination with the social service or the empowerment initiative within the Office of Equity, Inclusion, and Empowerment could be helpful. And I don't know if it's just that, maybe we're talking about a resource fair for residents to be able to learn about all of the different assistances that are out there. I know there was a lot during COVID. We provided utilities assistance through CARES Act funding and Emergency Solutions Grant from the county. We also provided support through CDBG grant funds, but that work is looking different because people are still, although we're getting through COVID, there's still impact, right? And people are still needing assistance. And so the ask of using the facility for registration for this program, I mean, I don't know if that's a larger community resource type fair around, I'm not sure, and I didn't speak with her to find out, but like I know that she's connecting residents with a number of different services.
Yeah,
And that might be helpful
Yeah.
to be able to have information if we're doing something in person, not just around that. This is the information around utilities and energy, you know, for our residents and our seniors. Our seniors also read their mail and are not as active on social media. So, you know, being able to make sure that they get the information that we're trying to support them with, and Councilmember Cook has chimed in at this point. So I'll turn this. Okay, and then I'll go to Councilmember Cook and Councilmember Butler. I saw the city manager nodding as well. Go ahead, Councilmember Cook.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I'll be quick since my leg is being kicked as I speak. Uh, Let me first acknowledge something, and there's an old saying that says that if you are not educated at the house, you spent your time playing in the yard.
All right.
The other point that's very important, and this is something the city learned during the peak of COVID. It's one thing under normal circumstances to fall behind on being able to pay your utility bills for a whole lot of different reasons. But also with a lot of seniors, it's not just being able to pay the bills. You have to add to that the inability to keep the source of the service, the heater, the furnace, hot water heater, keeping it up to speed so that you don't drown in its inefficiency as it grows older. You know, you're making it barely, when you're 65, you're 80 in the same house with the same heater. And it's costing you a whole lot more than it did a few years ago. Even though you have put the grandkids out of the house, your operational costs are still up. So you got my vote. In that when we think about it, when we look at the numbers, there are a lot of people that need a lot of help. And I'll close by saying, I didn't think things were bad until we discussed one night that we had at least $3 million tied up in unpaid utility bills by citizens that were over 30 days old in delinquency. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for people to owe. A lot of money for people who have been used to being able to stay up with the bills, and for a whole lot of reasons they can't control. They were slipping, they were falling behind. God speak to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll go to Councilman Butler, but these also community resource fair or services at the Blacktop event that we're considering as well. I'm not saying we have to wait until then to share, but that would be another opportunity to share these types of resources, because I think they mentioned vendors, right? And making sure that we have information for the community about services that are available and a lot of other stuff. So, Councilmember Butler.
With my colleague's permission, I would like to offer a friendly amendment to the motion, and the motion would read as allowing THACA the opportunity to work with our development office, Ms. Johnson, and the newly created office in order to deliver those services, and they can coordinate when and where they need that. So the council will authorize the collaboration of those two groups.
Second.
Do you get the friendly amendment, City Clerk? Councilmember Gordon, do you accept the friendly amendment?
Yes, I do. And I can't remember who made the second.
Councilmember Cummings.
Okay.
Does your second, Councilmember Cummings, your second still stand? Okay. Um, any further discussion? Oops, what? Press the wrong button. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, council
And
members.
Frank and Edna, we share
Oh,
something in
see?
common.
I love it. I love it. Just as a side note, I have to say, my son just crossed this weekend, and he was my number for those of you that can appreciate that.
What number are you? What number are you?
I'm a 5
You're a 5. You
Yeah.
played at Morehouse?
at Todd Chapter, Atlanta University.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well,
But that,
Councilmember Cook did this whole, if you ain't in the house, you're in the
right, you in
yard.
the
So I
yard.
just made the assumption you was in the house and not in the yard. I don't know.
Right, I was in the house.
You was in the house.
That's
Okay.
right. But
All
thank
right.
you again. Thank you.
All right. All right. Next up, do we have any committee reports? Councilmember Cook, Councilmember Butler.
May I have something sort of brief? All right. As a member of the Budget Finance Committee, one of the obligations we have taken upon ourselves is to make sure that the city manager is prepared to deliver his monthly budget status report. And for the last couple of weeks, he's been constantly interrupted. It's almost like the atmosphere is raining auditors for one reason or another. So he has about 3 major things going on, and I'm going to ask the city manager. If he would be very, very brief, but just sort of coming from me, and he would just give us a general update as to where he is right now, because he's had a lot of interruptions. Talk about the overtime, talk about the extra people you brought in, et cetera, et cetera.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You got about 5 minutes or less.
Appreciate that. Yes, our finance team had been working with our new auditor. As you know, we brought our new auditor, the Rosales Group, on. They came on board in the beginning of March. And so it's been a process of kind of coordinating them with working together with transition from the previous auditor, along with the fact that they're catching up with getting together the previous audit and working on the current audit. So they're kind of doing two simultaneously right now, and also giving it updates to S&P Global, which they've been doing. And so that's been where they've been focusing their attention. and to meet the deadline, because they had strict deadline dates to that to adhere to. And so they've been working arduously on that for the past month and a half since we brought the new audit in, which was approved in February, the end of February.
Sorry about that. I'll close with this comment. You're basically closing out for final report year 2021. You have to start real soon because this ended fiscal year 2022. Fiscal year 2023 will end June 30th this year. While you're trying to finish the final touches and seek council approval for fiscal year 24. And you got to get all this done between now and about July the 1st. Is that pretty much correct?
Oh, yes, sir, that's correct. Because they'll have 22. They're looking to get 22 done in the end of June, at least having the first draft. So they're finishing up with 21 right now. They're doing 2022, and then they'll be starting on 2023, which will bring them right where they need to be. So the auditor's working double time on that to kind of catch up. Yes, sir.
All right, and I just wanted you to talk about it because it's a very unusual situation that we're going through right now. But I know you're going to succeed. Thank you.
And I guess to put that in context, since Councilmember Cook raised it, the previous auditor that we had quit with no notice and hadn't completed the audits. And so I think that's important to put out there since Councilmember Cook is sharing about previous fiscal years. I've met with the new auditors, and they definitely have an all hands on deck approach. They, I believe, are being very thorough and even making some recommendations that I hope will, and I'm not sure what all of them are. They were just talking about that's a part of the service of sharing some recommendations around different practices and things like that. And so to be able to come in that emergency situation, and, you know, with a prior auditor that was also uncooperative, it's my understanding, with our new auditors. It's just a really unusual situation. And I'm glad that we were able to do the emergency procurement and move forward in a timely manner to be able to make sure that we continue forward. And so I felt that that context was needed for the public, given the discussion about previous fiscal years. It wasn't, it was that our auditor quit with no notice. I think that's very bad business. But we were able to get, I think, a very competent company, auditor, to come in to get us in the right position quickly. So thank you to our city manager and our finance department bringing that forward in an emergency situation. I know our interim city attorney has been involved in making sure that there's communication between our previous auditor and the current auditor and whatever else has been needed to make sure we get everything in order. So I appreciate all of you for having an all hands on deck approach to this. And Councilmember Cook, I see you again.
One last thing. One of the things that surprised us is that the new audit firm requested as much historical data relating to the city charter that was available. One of the key objectives right now is to look to see if our procedures really support the change in the city charter that took place around 2007. In the process of doing that research, the deputy finance director was able to get his hands on the original charter for the city that was written in 1887. And as I read that 3-page document, this caught my eye, that all male citizens in the city of East Point were required to spend X number of hours maintaining the roads within the city. And if they didn't participate in that road repair, they were fined. If we ever lose T-Splosh, just keep that in mind.
But thank God for T-Splice and the residents supporting it. So, I mean, I guess I wouldn't be in that position. That would be y'all out there doing the roads. But we've come a mighty long way, and T-Splice brings in at least around $35 million, which is why we're doing so much repaving of streets and sidewalks and things of that nature. So, any other, somebody's light is throwing me off. It's reflecting off of this thing. All right, so no other committee reports. Let's move forward with adoption of the council agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion to adopt the agenda as printed.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Approval of city council minutes from the April 3rd regular meeting of East Point City Council. Is there a motion?
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve for 2023 city council meeting.
Councilmember Cummins whispered second. It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. We are now at our public hearings. Thank you all for being so patient this evening. I will turn to our interim city attorney to read the public hearing rules. Attorney Williams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Public hearing shall be advertised as per ordinance. The presiding officer will call for a motion to open and close the hearing. Those in favor of the subject will speak first for a total of 15 minutes. Each speaker will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Those who oppose the subject will then speak for a total of 15 minutes. Each speaker will be limited to not more than 3 minutes. Speakers may give a total of 3 minutes to another speaker. After all those present have had an opportunity to speak, residents will be given first priority to speak. After all residents have been given an opportunity to speak, non-residents may speak. By a majority vote, the council may increase the total time for each side of the subject to a total of 30 minutes per side. Each side will be given the same amount of time. Speakers must adhere to the rules of decorum. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Can we get a motion to open the first public hearing, Amico LLC, requesting retail sales alcohol license? Is there a motion to open the public hearing? It's in Councilmember Bailey.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to open the public hearing to discuss Amco LLC requesting retail sales alcohol license.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. The public hearing is now open. If we can have brief presentation from staff, Mr. King, before hearing from the public.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'm going to ask Chief Buchanan to come forward and provide a brief overview of this particular application.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager. We're going to give a brief overview of our Amico. If you would, Corporal Jackson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Corporal Jackson, East Point Police Department. Salmon Presbyterian is applying for an alcohol license for retail sales of an existing business located at 1270 Cleveland Avenue, East Point, Georgia, 30344. Mr. Salmon is a registered agent of the new business, well, existing business, and has no history with the city of East Point. He passed the background process, adhered to all advertisement requirements, and obeyed the bylaws as a new applicant. The police department recommends the issuance of the alcohol license of retail sales of beer and wine.
Thank you so much. Could you give me, just state the address for the record?
1270 Cleveland Avenue.
Thank you. We are in a public hearing on a request for retail sales alcohol license. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of the application?
The applicant.
The applicants are here.
If anyone who would like to speak in favor, now is your time to come up. I don't see any residents coming forward.
I'll be very brief. Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of council. Terry Bailey, attorney for the applicant, address 2221 Peachtree Road Northeast, Suite D341, Atlanta, Georgia 30309. As discussed, this is a change of ownership. It's a new business here. It's at the corner of Cleveland Avenue and Norman Berry. They've made some changes, and I think the business has been run appropriately since they've been in there for the last few months. We're here to answer any questions or concerns you guys may have about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else who would like to speak in favor of the license? Anyone else who would like to speak in favor? Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to the request for a retail sales alcohol license?
Good evening, City
Good
Council.
evening.
Marie Terry, 2855 Seven Road. I would like to speak in opposition of because I have been down to that store, we used to be Valero. Okay, I've also put in a click fix for a lottery, because you have a young lady that sleeps there. You still have people hanging out around the store, which is very, very unsafe for the residents. Now, in East Washington, we tried to get a mural put up, which the store owner was very nice about the mural. But having alcohol sales, you got drug deals, it's still there. Now, he has beautified the location by changing it and painting it. Looks nice in the area. But to give him a liquor license, we still haven't secured that area enough for the residents in that area. Then we have the Gateway senior citizens that cross over to go to that store, and they feel very unsafe. You have one of the people that stay there all day long, Jan, she sleeps there at the store. She crosses the street. She go back across the street. They're on the back end of this store, all by the dumpster. I don't think right now the store owner needs to bring in license for beer and anything else. He needs to first secure that premises or get more polices to police that area. And I bought, like I said, I sent in for a click fix. No, we don't need that on that corner right now, because we have a clinic where kids go on Bayard. We have a problem with this vacant lot next door. We have people coming off Pine Street, off of Bayard Street, coming down to the store. We have all kinds of transactions on Normanberry. That is too much going on, too much traffic. No, that would only add to his problem, the senior citizens problem. No, even at the urgent care, that's connected there. No, I oppose it. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak in opposition to the request for alcohol license? Anyone like to speak in opposition? There a motion to close the public hearing? So moved. Is there a second? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Is there any further action on this item? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded that we approve the alcohol license. Any discussion? I'd like to, oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember Bailey, Councilmember Cook, and Councilmember Cummings.
Madam Mayor, I agree that there are some loitering going on around the store and that people are sleeping. And I just don't think that having a liquor license would make that worse. Chief Buchanan is very aware of the actions there. We've been talking to him, and he has plans to address it.
Councilmember Cook.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have somewhat of the same concerns. I think the chief can kind of bring us up to speed on that. That's not in my ward, but I'm very familiar with that corner. And I do realize it's cleaner looking now. It's under a new ownership, but also a new, I guess for lack of a better term, gas company or service company. All that has taken place, but if I guess the ambiance of that area has not changed, we really haven't made any serious progress. And I think my vote is going to depend on what the chief has to say. Thank you.
Chief, before you respond, I'll go to Councilmember Cummings, and then I have some comments, and it might be address all of them at the same time.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm echoing the sentiments of my colleagues, and that was my question: as what is the store owner? Are there any measures that you've taken thus far to kind of clean up that area? And I think those questions will probably be answered with Chief Buchanan. And another, do you have cameras outside of the? Okay, certainly.
Hello, everybody. My name is Salman Parvatani, and I'm the agent of that location. So, what is your question, ma'am?
The question is, what efforts have you, what have you done thus far to try and clean up around that area, around the gas station?
Okay, so first of all, it used to be an old store Valero.
Valero,
So we
yes.
pulled permit out for the lighting. So we did the lights, and then later on we changed from the Valero brand to the Amoco. We installed the new pumps and everything, and the parking lot was completely paved and painted everything with a handicap parking sign and everything. And inside, what we have made changes inside the store, the POS system was really old. So we changed those systems into the new technology where things can get scanned, and all the customers are fairly priced and checked everything. And most importantly, the IDs we check for the customers. And coming outside to the store, where a lot of trespassers were written, you can check the records also. It's not a problem. And a lot of times where few people hang out, as ma'am mentioned about that lady, I have gone through the same situation with that lady specifically, and I called the cops and I gave them. One lady used to come outside and just hang out. She had nobody, so whenever she used to come, she's hungry. I personally used to give her a little bit money and food every now and then to help her out. One lady used to come, and and she's not coming right now as of now. And I'm there at the property every day, at least 4 or 5 hours a day, or sometimes 7 or 8 hours a day. So if anybody has any issues, they can directly contact me, or I can give my personal cell phone number out, and I can just help more um, people out there if anybody needs an attention to be taken care of.
Okay, do you have cameras
Yes,
outside?
ma'am.
Okay.
We have a new camera system, which is 32 cameras, recording for 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you. I yield back.
Thank you. Chief, did you want to add anything to the safety
So I
concern?
would tell you, the new ownership has called the police frequently. We've given more criminal trespass warnings than we probably have in the last 2 years. So they're really cooperative and they want a clean business. And that's why we're supporting that, just because of their interaction with us and how many trespass warnings they've given. And if a person returns, they call us and we lock them up. So they really are trying to do the right thing.
Thank you. And my question goes around the young lady who's experiencing homelessness or people who are showing up experiencing homelessness. Again, I know Ms. Johnson, our social services program coordinator, again, has helped. In January, she gave me a number of 43. It's probably more than that. People who were experiencing homelessness who unhoused become housed. And so I'm not sure, and I got another call about a situation today that I need to speak with you all about. I'm not sure what that process is, but I can imagine if she's helping people experiencing homelessness, she's probably going to them. But if there's a way to connect the owner to our social services coordinator, to be able to share information or call when the young lady is there. I also know we used to have Mr. Jack downtown by cues, and he didn't want to be housed. I told him, right, I could call somebody on the phone right now and have them come pick you up in a van to take you to a shelter. And he, at that point, felt like other people who had families deserved housing more than him. And I was like, you deserve housing as well. And but it's also, his stuff. Like there's just a lot of comorbidity and issues that go along with it. And so as we continue to build out the Office of Equity, Inclusion, and Empowerment, and that focus around one of the focus around homelessness, really trying to see how we can help people who may be dealing with some comorbidity, substance issues, mental health issues, like really connect to the resources that they need. We also had a young lady when it was really cold. The whole community was rallying around her because she was under the bridge over on Norman Berry, and our community was even going to check on her and take her food, and but she refused to go into the shelter, and we had the city annex as a cooling station at a warming center. Look, we won't be cool in the cold. A warming center at that time, and she refused to go. So we do understand the challenge. Thank you for being kind and being showing respect. Everybody deserves dignity and respect, and people who need help. Thank you for being willing to help. But it is starting to increase, and so I don't know how we, through Ms. Johnson's been doing amazing work, and I said I was going to have that conversation around what resources are we connecting people to. What does that look like? I mean, so we can share a bit with our business owners and our residents as well. Like if they see people experiencing homelessness, how do we respond? in a way with dignity and respect, connects them to resources, but also helps deal with the issue of vagrancy and loitering within the city. And so I just wanted to chime in there. I think that would be a good way, and maybe we figure out a protocol or process to be able to start doing that more now that we have the office and we'll have dedicated staff, because it is a lot. And what we don't want to do is criminalize people who are experiencing non-life-threatening issues or not really harming anyone. But we also have to deal with the safety in the community and the perceptions and things that go along with that, right? So I understand that holistically, and it's definitely something that our city manager is aware of and has staff working on. And again, thank you, and maybe we can make that connection. Any other discussion? There's a motion to approve the alcohol retail sales alcohol license for 1270 Cleveland Avenue. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much. Next up, public hearing is the text amendment. Actually, we have one other external person. This one is staff. So I'm gonna go to item number 8, and then I'll come back to item number 7. Oh, I'm sorry, Chief. I missed item number 6. So Sour Grapes LLC. Is there a motion to open the public hearing? All those in favor? Need more than Councilman Butler. We look, everybody got to vote tonight. We got 5 only. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. The floor is now open. Mr. King,
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll turn to Chief Buchanan to give the overview.
Vasily Sanchez Colon is applying for an alcohol license for wholesale of an existing business located at 3120 South Martin, East Point, Georgia, 30333. Vasily is the registered agent of an existing business and has no history with the city of East Point. Vasily passed the background process, adhered to the advertisement requirements, and obeyed by laws required as a new applicant. The police department recommends the issuance of an alcohol license for wholesale of beer, wine, and liquor.
and this address is 3120 South Martin Street in East Point. And is this an existing license?
Yes. They currently hold a license for beer and wine.
And where's it? This is the one you told us was in the red
Warehouse.
brick building,
Yes.
kind of in the slight industrial area on off of Normanberry.
Correct.
Over in the red brick buildings that have some other uses in there.
Yes. Matter of fact, the city used to have a office there in that building. That's the same location.
Okay. All right, we're in a public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of the wholesale alcohol license being requested by Sour Grapes LLC for 3120 South Martin Street? Anyone who would like to speak in favor? Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor? Anyone who would like to speak in opposition to the request for an alcohol license for Sour Grapes LLC? Anyone who would like to speak in opposition? Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition? Can I get a motion to close? Councilmember, it's been moved and properly second that we close the public hearing. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Is there any further action on this item? Bailey? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I saw you move forward and then I didn't look at lights. Councilmember Cook?
Madam Mayor, I wonder if the corporate would give a clear description of what's really going on in that area. I think I remember some of that conversation.